Hello class 11, welcome to your online class. In the last two classes we were discussing the forms of education, and now today we will start discussing the family as an institute of informal education. Now we have already learned what are the three types of forms of education, not types, forms of education: informal, formal and non-formal. And today we will start with a vivid discussion of informal education. Last day, informal, what is informal education and what are the characteristics of informal education, we have already learned. Today we are going to start with the responsibility of a family. Now before going to the direct responsibility of the family, we must discuss that see, after a baby is born, immediately after that he is she is totally dependent on his family members, isn't it? Because whatever is needed, whatever is asking for, he cannot express in words, isn't it? It's very much dependent on the parents, on maybe grandparents, and they used to express. What are the way of expressing? The way of expressing is crying or smiling. When they are happy, they used to smile. When they used to feel sad, they used to cry. And even if they feel hungry, they used to cry. But they cannot say that, Mama, I am feeling hungry, isn't it? So as slowly, when the age increases, along with the increase of the age, what happens? The needs and requirements also changes from the age, and each and everything whatever they require, they try to fulfill it through their family. So being a family, being a institute, oldest and earlier most um, early institute of education, family is having some basic responsibility to follow. So we will start discussing the direct responsibility. Now see, biological need. Now biological need means, first, that is obvious, for staying alive, food is the basic requirement that we need. But there are some others need which must be fulfilled by the parents, like the demand of the offspring is also very important. Sexual demand is also very important. So the family will take care of the child's sexual demand, that whether they are the thought and the thinking, on the way they are thinking, is it correct or not, and they will check whether the thought and thinking process is perfect in case of their children or not. So with explanation and with illustration, the parents will teach what is good and what is bad for a child. As we know that a child, when it's born, it's 100% dependent on the parents or the mother's breast milk, isn't it? So the only food they eat used to the breast milk. So that is the responsibility of the mother to feed her with her milk, isn't it? So these are some biological need which must be followed by the family or the parents. Now the second thing is responsibility of security. Now see, this is very important because when we used to be young, we also used to feel insecure sometimes, isn't it? And family members, and they used to say that yes, whatever happens to you, we are always there beside you. But whatever step you are taking, you take care of it, and then you do. You think before you do, isn't it? Because the first thing what you have to face is by you. But we are there to provide you security. If you are having any problem, we will take care of that and we will try to help you to come out from the problem. So security problem, responsibility of security is the second point of the direct responsibility of a family. Next point is the transmissional responsibility. Now see, in India only, in our country, different cultural, different tradition, they are coming from different background. Many people are there, isn't it? And they are having different way of eating, different culture, different language, different habits. Everything is means unity among diversity, as we say it in history. So this is what is we are. Our country is filled up with different cultures and traditions. So transmissional responsibility means here these culture and traditions and these thoughts and this thinking must be transmitted to the next generation, means the upcoming generation. What we have learned from our parents. What I am going to teach my daughter is what I know about our culture and heredity, and what is our heritage, how we used to think. And like after Durga Puja, we used to touch feet of our parents, isn't it? Or we used to send regards to our elders, isn't it? Or we show respect to our friends and colleagues, like that. Now the same thing, like other, not only this is a part of example. Different sorts of, like Saraswati Puja, we used to give Anjali in Christians or Muslims. Different rituals are there, which maybe I don't know, but different rituals are there what they used to follow. But only following this tradition and heritage is not okay. Transmission of these qualities or these features, these characteristics to the next generation is the another very important responsibility of a family. So another thing I also can say, that this helps in socialization. Suppose we are in a party where many different peoples are there. If I behave something different, what they will say, they will talk about me, that yes, he is behaving something different, or she is behaving in a different way. So through transmission of these qualities, and through fulfilling this duty, the family is helping the child to be a social person. Next is economic responsibility. Now see, economic responsibility is what, up to a certain age we all are dependent on our parents, and after that when we start incoming, when we start our start to income, we start living our own life, isn't it? We don't have to depend in each and every phase, isn't it? So economic responsibility up to the age of your means when you are too small to earn money, up to that age the family will take responsibility of your economic requirement. Suppose those who used to stay at college hostel, or maybe in a mess, over there they have to pay money. They need book to read, they need copy to write, they need material to read, like for maybe for other reason also they need money. But according to the requirement, it is the responsibility of the family to follow the economic be responsible for the economic support of individual. Now in your book you will see there are two different way of providing. Some used to provide good, and some you can also provide money to the child, those who need money. But you should be very careful, just it's coming out of the book and studies, that the investment should be of use. You should not misuse the money which is provided by your parents. If 10 rupees also you get, you can keep it with you, and you will see next time when it is required you are using that. So you should not waste money. The requirement of economic responsibility of a family does not mean that they can provide you anything whatever you want. It is maybe it can be beyond my capacity or beyond their capacity. So the economic responsibility means to fulfill your need what is actually required. It does not indicate whatever you like, however you like you can invest money. It does not mean that. Okay, next point, preservative responsibility. Now see, this is another important thing. Preservation means what? When you are keeping it something in a very safe and careful manner. Your preservation park, we have seen that over there conservation park, like tiger and lion are conserved over there. very different sorts of animals. So they are protecting themselves from harm, isn't it? Now, in this case, family is also having a responsibility of preservation of their property. Now, this preservation and later on distribution of it to all the family, all the child equally is another very important responsibility of the parents. Now, if I have 4 children, I have to distribute my properties to all of my children, those who are living alive, isn't it? So this is the responsibility of a family. But the thing is that equal distribution is a right, and the equal distribution is a duty, and receiving it and protecting it and preservation of it is the responsibility of the children. Finally, psychological need is also means, if I sum up all the points, it comes at the end to the psychological need of the child. Because see, psychology is related with mind, we all know. So if a mind is broken, we are unable to do anything in our life, isn't it? A fresh mind is capable of doing any work you wish, isn't it? But an evil mind or a bad mind is inappropriate for doing anything. So the family will take responsibility of protecting of take caring of the mind of the child. They will put love, affection, and they will take the responsibility of making him feel that yes, we are always with you. So love and affection and a good bonding between the members of the family is also a very important responsibility of a family. Because see, the family is taking care of the child, and when the child will grow up, he will take care of the parents. So it is about the psychological need. When the parents will become older, if they feel like yes, my child is not looking after me, that is a very bad feeling too. So it is the bonding between the member of a family is very important. So psychological need means when suppose you are in a bad mood, you are going to your parents and you are sharing your feeling, and they are giving you some solution to come out from the problem. Like that, there should be a great, healthy, and bonding between the parents and their child. So this is all about the direct responsibilities. As I have told you, all the points are in the book. Go through it thoroughly, and on the day of our live class, I will explain you in details. Thank you.